we have an A, an E, and a C. So we've got A, C, and then we have to find the space note for E, because it's got to be a space note, not a line note, or to be in the snowman. So here's our E. So here's our root position chord. It's an A minor chord. All right, so then we reference over to our scale. We find the note A, which is right here. Okay, so we know it's a 2 chord, and we know it's minor, A, C natural, E. So we put our 2, and then we need to figure out whether it's in root position or first inversion. And so we look at our bass, and we say, okay, it's A. Look at your root position chord. Where does it sit? So if it's here, it'll be a root. If it's in the third, if it were a C in the bass, instead of an A, it would be first. And if it were an E in the bass instead of an A, it would be second inversion, just like that. All right? So we don't have to put anything. We determine that it's a root position. A is your bass note. It's the lowest note in the chord. So we don't have to do anything. It's just a 2, and we're good. All right, so let's look at the next one. We've got F, A, D, and A. All right, so I'm going to guess that it's going to go D, F, and A like that. So we've got a D, an F, and an A. Okay? And actually what we really have is F, A, D, A. So we always take the 2 A's, one cancels the other out, so we only need one of them, right? So from here, we figure out, okay, we've got D. So if we're in the key of D major, or G major, that's going to be D, E, F, G, or D, A, B, C, G, A, B, C, oh my gosh, D right here, that's the 5th of the chord, so we know it's a 5. Now, depending on where our bass note is, this will be root, first, or second, right? So our F is in the bass, so we need to find F, and look at that. It's not in root position, it's in first inversion. So then we put the 6 right next to the 5 to indicate that it's a 5 chord in first inversion. All right, next one. We can erase some of this so it's a little less messy. All right, so our next chord is going to be a G, a D, and a B. So we've got to mix and match these so that they end up in our root position triad, our closest triad that we can get. So if we start with our G, we go up to B, and then D right up here is on the line, okay? So we've got another G major chord, right? So we go back here, G's right here, so we've got a 1 chord. And then we're going to look at our bass, right? Because this is root, first, or second. And we've got G. We find the G root position, so we don't have to do anything. We're off the hook. All right, and then our final chord. Whew! So we have, at the very, very bottom, we've got a G, a D, another D, and a B. All right, so actually it's got the same notes in it, right? So we've got 2 Ds, so we'll just get rid of one of those because it's redundant. We're only looking for 3 notes. So we've got our G, D, B again. So we can actually just reuse what we did before, G, B, D, root, first or second. All right, and we look very carefully what's in the bottom. So we've got G on the bottom. G is our root. We've got 1 chord. So G major, root position chord. All right? So you're going to do that for the rest of these. And it is really good practice. In 3, just that you guys you're not totally confused when you get to number 3. You're going to see the chords not stacked on top of each other anymore. You're going to see them arpeggiated, which means that it's the chord. So it's the chord like this, but they just spread it out over time. So in this case, the first measure of this Mozart is, let's see. So you've got your G up here. Just like that. And this is all going to be one chord. All right. So all of this is one chord. So we've got to take all of the notes that are in this chord and do the same exact thing with it. All right. So here we've got our lowest note is an E, and we've got a G, and we've got a C, and finally an E. And then up here we've got G, so we've already got G written down, another G, E, and C. So nothing new. And we've actually got an extra E. So if we were to put this all out together into root position, you would have E, and then G right here next to it, and then we put C down here on the line, right? So we've actually got a C major chord, and we're in the key, consequently, of C major. So our key is C major, so we've got our C major chord here, so that would be a 1 chord. And then we look at the lowest note in the chord, which is this note right here, right? No lower notes. And this note is an E, which sits in, if you remember, root, first, second. So if our bass note is E, it's in first inversion, which means we put in the figured bass, little 6. So that's going to be 1/6 for all of this. That's just all a 1/6 chord. So that's how you attack number 3 and attack anything that's arpeggiated like that. Let's see. So yes, that is 4.8. 4.9 is actually more of the same. I mean, it's kind of redundant, so we're not going to do it. 4.8 is enough to take on. And let's see. And then we're going to do 4. Yeah, don't worry about the rest of these. We're not going to worry about the pop music symbol stuff. And then 4.10, all they're asking for you to do is a macro analysis, which just gives you, so all the chords are in root position. So I will have you do 4.10. So your assignment this week is 4.7, 4.8, and 4.10. So this one, They're just giving you the straight up chord, and they want you to list the name of the chord, not the Roman numeral analysis or how it fits in the key, just the straight up name of the chord, whether it's major, minor, diminished, and I'll show you in a minute what that looks like. So our first example is F, A, C, just like that. They're in root position, so you don't have to worry about adding in figured bass or anything. So this is an F major chord, right? So root position, call it F. And because it's major, so from F to A, it's a major third, and from A to C natural, it's a minor third, you're going to have capital F will indicate an F major chord. And that's all you need to put. In the case of example 2, you've got G, B flat, D, like this, right? So from here to here, it's minor, so that's a minor third, and then B flat to D is a major third, so we've got a minor chord. The root is G, so we know it's a G chord, a G minor chord. So the way to write G minor is just a lowercase g, like that. Number 3, also a good one to know. I'll actually do the first 4 for you, so that will cover everything. This is number 3. We've got a D flat, F, and A, just like that, okay? So we know it's a D chord of some sort, because D is our root, but we don't know what kind of chord it is yet. So we've got D flat to F is a major third, and then F to A, also a major third. So we've got major third on top of major third, which tells us it's an augmented chord, right? So the way to indicate that is a little plus symbol. So, and it'll be a capital. So augmented chords are going to be indicated with a capital letter. So you'll call it D flat with a little plus next to it, just like that. All right? And then the opposite of that is number 4. Example 4, you've got A, C, E flat, right? So in this case, we've got a minor third stacked on top of a minor third, which indicates that it's a diminished chord, and we know it's an A, so we're going to call it A, lowercase for diminished and minor, uppercase for major and augmented. So we're just going to call it A diminished, and the diminished symbol is a little circle like that. All right, so that's assignment 4.10. That's all you have to do. So do that and prepare for the exam, and I will see you next week. And the next sort of chapters are a little bit easier. We go into more of the structural elements and form, cadences, so you have that to look forward to. So again, if you have any questions, just email me. I will be happy to answer them. If you need something that's longer depth in explanation, I will be here on Monday from 12 to, well, I'll be here all day Monday, but I teach the ear training class from 1 to 2, and I will also be recording more stuff. So from 2 to 2:45. So I will be on campus in room 705. Come find me, especially if you have questions about the test, something like that. And then, yeah. And if you need more, I'm happy to give you my phone number. I can coach you through stuff. We can Skype. So just let me know. All right. Or we can just set up a time to go over stuff. All right. Have a good week. Talk to you soon.